Once there was a man that had to marry off his daughter, and he was into debt, and he didn't have any money. And he went to the Rebbe of Tzans to ask him what to do. So the Rebbe of Tzans, told him that you have to go to a certain man. He named the person's name, and he said, ask him for the entire loan. Now, it was like 5,000 zlotys or something like that, which in today's terms is, let's say, $200,000. And so he goes to the rich man's house, as said, and he knocks on the door, comes in, and says, yes, he said, I'm marrying off my daughter, and I have other expenses and other things, and I need a donation. He said, sure, no problem. And he gave him a donation like $100, which is a pretty good donation. So the rich man was sort of priding himself, on how much he gave and how appreciative, probably so surprised this fellow is that he gave it to. And amazingly enough, that he said, no, I want you to know that I just was by the Rebbe of Tzens, and he said that you have to give me 5,000 zlotys. So, like I said, that's what is a $200,000. Let's say a tremendous amount of money. So the rich man said, that's a fortune. The Rebbe really told you to give me that much money? Yes, he did. He even wrote it down. He says, so how can I get out of this? So he called his wife. His wife is like a really down to earth, penny pinching, super, super practical woman. And he said, well, just 1 second, I'll bring my wife. So he saw that he wasn't having success to get this fellow out of his house. So he called his wife, and the man told us, said, it was just by the Rebbe. He said you should give 500,000 zlotys. So she said, $500,000, 500,000 zlotys. She said to her husband, immediately go to the safe and bring him the money. So now there was 2 against 1. He couldn't go against his wife. So he went to the safe, and he took out this tremendous sum of money, and he gave it to him. He counted it out, gave it to him. So the woman said, you're probably wondering why I gave you so much money. Immediately, I didn't ask any questions. Usually I'm very, very frugal, very, very, exact with money. I didn't check to ask, are you cheating? Are you lying? Like the rich man. And the poor person, I didn't ask any questions about you. I'll tell you what. She said, when I was a young girl, I once went to a wedding. My mother took me to the wedding. It was very unusual, it was sort of far away. So we went to the wedding, and when we got there, the rabbi and the bride was sitting and crying in the corner, and the rabbi refused to make the wedding. He was refusing. So we asked around, why was he refusing? All the tables were ready, and the band was ready to play, and all the guests were there, but the rabbis refused. So he said, we asked around why. He said, because the father and mother of the groom were not there. And the rabbi said that until they come, he's not going to make the wedding because he wants to check up who they are, who are the father and mother of the groom, right? Maybe they're not Jewish. Who knows what it was, what the case is. So the rabbi said, until the father and mother of the groom come, we're not going to make the wedding. So everyone was sitting and they didn't know what to do. They went to the house of the bride and the groom, the father of the bride and the groom, and they weren't there. They weren't there at the home. So someone said the Rebbe of Tzans is in the house. I guess the previous Rebbe of Tzans. The Tzanzer Rebbe that he's in the town. He happened to be coming and visiting, and then maybe he can come and he'll do the wedding. So they brought the Rebbe of Tzans there, and the Rebbe of Tzans heard the whole story, talked to the girl, and he went to the girl, and he went to the parents of the girl. Meanwhile, the groom is just wandering around. He doesn't know what to do, right? His parents just refused to come. Oh, they're not there. They left. How could their parents leave? They had the wedding with their son. So the Rebbe of Tzans goes to the parents of the girl and says, I want to take you aside. Takes them into the side room. And he says, I would like to ask you, how many children do you have? So they said, we have 7 children. He said, all of them are alive. His mother said, well, one of them died in childbirth. I mean, that's how many there were in the family. One of them died in childbirth a long time ago. And one of them, and she started crying. He said, what her husband? He said, well, one of them was a child. He was really wild. He was really crazy, the child. And he used to jump around. He would jump off of high places. And we just couldn't control him. We just didn't know what to do with him, you know. And when he got to the age of about 13, 14, so he was with a bunch of friends, and we couldn't control where he went. He went with a bunch of friends, and he wanted to see, there was a river flowing, and he wanted to show off. So he went to a high place, and he dove into the river, and he just never came up. He drowned in the river, and they saw him, far down. They ran to find him, and then I guess the current just took him under. They searched afterward for weeks that his body would get washed up or something like that on the ground. Nobody found him, and so he's just lost. He said, well, he was a wild boy. Oh, he was really wild. I mean, it was a miracle that he made it up to 12, however old I said he was. It was a miracle that he made it up to 12 years old. And one time he jumped off of a high fence. He cut his leg. We thought we were going to have to amputate. There's a big scar left on it. Other things, he was just really wild. But he was our son, So the Rebbe Mitzan said, thank you very much. And he took the parents, said, I want to see something. And he went over to the groom. And he said to the groom, excuse me, could you sit down for a moment? He said, yes. He said, you have any idea why your parents didn't come? He said, I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know what to say. I'm just so surprised. We talked about it. He said, do me a favor, just pull up your pants leg. What? He said, pull up your pants leg. Pull up your pants leg. And there was this big scar. The parents of the girl looked and said, that's our son. That's our son, Yitzchak, whatever his name is, crazy son. So he didn't know what happened. The fact is that, yes, he dove into the water and he was taken under. And in fact, he was drowned. He was unconscious. And he washed up on the shore, far away, far down the river. The current was far faster than they thought. And he was washed up on the shore that night. And he didn't remember anything. He was unconscious all the time. And a couple came, a Jewish couple came, and they found him, and they didn't have any children, so they adopted him. And they figured they'll hold on to him, and nobody came and asked him. They just never asked him. So they adopted him. Who says, now, when it's coming time to get married, so they were afraid that maybe they would have to reveal how they found him, and they didn't want to lie. So they left the town, made some excuse. So it ends up that this boy is really your son. He is the brother of the girl. So everybody was, on one hand, they were tremendously happy. On the other hand, there was a big meal. And so the Rebbe said, we would like people to donate money for the meal. Anyone who's willing to donate money for the meal, to pay off the meal, and also to donate to these young couples, they can get married in the future, because they'll have to have money to get married. Now they thought they're married. Could please and come give money. So my mother was there with me, and everyone stood in a long line, and they donated very nicely. And my mother, she wanted to donate also. She wanted to give them money. And the Rebbe of Tzanz looked at her, and he said, the time will come. It's not now. The time will come when you'll be asked for money for a wedding, a large sum. That's when you can pay back. So that's what happened now. When you come and you said the one that the money and the Rebbe of Tzanz sent you, as I knew that was the time that came now, that I should pay back I should give the charity that I wanted to give back then. So everything came out exactly as God planned. Have a good day with Mashiach now.